everyone. Hope you're all keeping well. I'm Yuning, your moderator for the next segment. URA is Urban Redevelopment Authority, not Urban Renewal Authority, so just to get that right. And so universities are an important pipeline for talent. So please go into Slido if you haven't already and do this quick poll on whether at this stage, would your organization be willing to provide internships and work study opportunities? Okay, so just do a quick poll on that. We'll get back to it later. And now universities have become crucial partners in innovation districts. We've seen the powerful impact of MIT has on Kendall Square, and this is just one of many examples. And these districts are where anchor institutions cluster and connect with companies, startups and business incubators and the like. So Punggol Digital District in Singapore will see the coming together of Singapore Institute of Technology with JTC's latest business park. So to share more with us, it gives me great pleasure to bring on the president of SIT, Professor Tan Tiam Soon. Prof. Tan is instrumental in bringing SIT together with JTC's business park in Punggol Digital District. I always feel very inspired to hear from Tiam Soon's ideas for SIT and his innovation in education. So I'll let him tell you more before we go into further conversation. Tiam Soon, over to you, please.
Thank you. We have very little time. So can we bring on the slide straight away? Next slide, please. Just a word or two. There are very few slides, just a word or two about SIT. Many people will not know that we are the youngest university, just turned barely 6 years old as a university. But today we are already the third biggest in Singapore. And one unique aspect of our university is that the majority of our students come from Polytechnic. Polytechnic is a unique institution in Singapore. It's where students, instead of going to a senior high school, they'll go to a Polytechnic for 3 years. We call ourselves University of Applied Learning, placing a lot of emphasis to connect the academic knowledge to real-world application. And we offer probably a number of very unique programs. We're the only one in Singapore, ranging from food technology to the whole slew of allied health, hospitality business, even e-gaming, etc. And we have a very structured integrated work study program that requires students to spend 8 to 12 months in industry. Next slide, please. Because of the fact that we have to work with industry, because of the fact that we are University of Applied Learning, we recognize very quickly that we really have to build a university that's nimble and responsive. University by nature typically is a very institution that's very resistant to change. If you are teaching physics degree, and if Newton's law has not changed, you can teach the same physics for the last 300 years, you can teach the same physics for the next 300 years. But when you are doing very applied kind of courses and the industry is changing, you really have to think very hard. How do you respond to this change in the industry? And so there are a whole bunch of things we have been doing at SIT, really to make us to be that unique university. We are complete on cloud. We work with a whole bunch of partners from all over the world. In fact, our aircraft maintenance engineering degree, we outsourced the lab to one of the local aircraft maintenance company in Singapore. So we learn how to leverage on other people. And when we organize our faculty, they are mixed together because a lot of degrees are very applied. And so in general, I think our main emphasis is we look at ourselves as a disruptive university. And we are fortunate that at this moment in time, we are building a new campus. On plan, we hope to start the academic year in 2023 in Punggol. But with the COVID-19, we are reevaluating that almost on a daily basis, but we hope that it will come. But this campus is a key to continue our journey of disruption. Next slide, please. Thank you. Our campus is going to be built 2 blocks. The first plot is by architect Woha, and we call it the campus hut, and it's going to surround a park. So instead of the normal court, in the center of the campus hut will be a park that is going to be owned by M Park, and it's open to the public. Next slide, please. The next slide is what we call a campus court. That's where the bulk of the admin work and the faculty will sit, and is designed by RSP Architect. And will be the only campus in Singapore that will be situated right next to the waterfront. Right opposite us, as you can see there, is Coney Island. So it's a very unique and very beautiful landscape. Next. This is to just give you a glimpse to what we have put into the campus as of today, and we are still adding new items in it. So I won't go into the details because there are a lot of details, and those of you who are interested can always contact us. But in particular, I just want to highlight, we are going to build the first urban microgrid that is also islandable. That means our grid can be isolated from the main grid. And the reason is we want to use it for innovation, to allow us to test extreme energy solution if needed without the fear of affecting the main grid. And it has taken us some courage to turn our actual operating grid. So it's not setting up a small little test microgrid in addition to the main grid. Our entire energy grid is itself urban microgrid. And that's quite a big decision. Then there are many other features we have added. We have deliberately built a separate cable for us to be able to put as many sensors on the campus as possible, and providing those data and platform for our professor, our student, and even our collaborators to leverage on all kinds of data on the campus. Next slide, please. Yeah, and this is probably the most important slide to capture the thing we want to do. We really feel that this opportunity for reimagination. Earlier, many of the speakers have talked about how COVID-19 is affecting all the industry, and I think it's affecting education as well. Right now, we are all doing remote learning online. Though the student feedback is yes, they can cope, but they find the quality and the depth of learning is not the same as when they are being together, and the opportunity to debate and discuss in depth. But on the other hand, it also allows us to understand that when come forced to the situation, many of the professors who initially very reluctant to use online tools are able to use it, and therefore it allows us in future to rethink how we can blend the two kinds of learning. In this Punggol Digital District, we have also taken a whole precinct approach. And for example, between JTC and SIT, we use the same master planner so that everything can be integrated, industry and academia. And that includes some amount of space swap. There are prime estate on SIT side that to us, it makes not a lot of difference whether I have a classroom that is right at the waterfront or I have a classroom that is up on the 6th floor. It makes no difference to the student when they are learning, but it could make a lot of difference to JTC. So taking a precinct approach allows a lot of innovation to be done. More importantly, for the university itself, we find that it's an opportunity to reimagine what the university learning environment of the future will be like. And this COVID-19 crisis is posing a lot of questions for us that we will need to address. One of the things that we want to see is, can we, the university itself, not just a physical part or just the microgrid part, but the whole university in totality be used for learning and experimentation? Can we try completely new approaches and build the kind of space to facilitate that kind of experimentation? So we're really talking about a living lab that will go beyond just a physical space. to innovate and inspire learning, inspire interesting project, and inspire industry to come and work with us. And there are many, many questions we are asking all the time. Questions like, what is the library of the future when we are already operating in cloud? Our library is, you go to a library, it's recognize you by face recognition, and you can check out books without just walk in and walk out and all that. So we've been asking ourselves a very tough question like that. And if we think the library is still useful, what is that role? Are we able to bring all the different common, like student-facing unit all together, so that together they can have more interesting and inspiring space to use? And most importantly, and I think the COVID-19 crisis has raised it, it allowed the space to be very flexible. Some unit may need to be scaled up. Other unit work may not be, may have to adapt and change. And so this will really allow us. So there are tremendous opportunity for this reimagination. And the last thing is really want to see whether the university itself can help transform learning in the community. And with that, I'm open to any question. Thank you.
Thanks, Prof. Tan. Thank you, Prof. Tan. Thanks for that sharing. I suppose one question that comes to many people's mind, and you've begun to allude to a bit of that, is that without, or with rather with so much home-based learning, what is the place of the physical campus going forward? How do you see the physical campus as a place?
No, yeah. In fact, we have been exploring online learning for quite a while, but because now every student is forced onto online learning, we are also learning that it's not the panacea for everything. Students are providing feedback that yes, they can learn some of the content, but actually how they use it in more imaginative ways, how to stretch the idea further. There are a lot of those that they feel that even online, even with discussion with the lecturer, they just don't seem to be able to have a deeper grasp. So we realized that we don't think online learning is going to go away. We think online learning is going to stay. A question is, when we bring the student back, what do we bring the student back for? And I think earlier on, there are also people talking about that people will work from home, but we will have to re-examine the very specific reason why we bring people back to the physical campus and make sure that when they come back, they are being used for the kind of purpose that include group interaction, the ability to read people emotion, the ability to defend idea in a robust way, etc., etc. So we think going forward, blended learning will be a big thing. But also on top of it, I think earlier speaker have alluded to it, how we rethink the space, whether it's for our faculty, for our staff, and for our students. There's going to be some very serious re-examination. Luckily for SIT, we have decided, for example, not to have individual rooms for the professor. This is almost a no-no in almost any university. I come from a traditional university. In the past, you expect to have your same neighbor for the next 30 years. But in SIT case, we make a very bold decision that we are doing away with individual rooms. We cluster people, and we cluster people of different backgrounds together. And that allows us a lot of flexibility to adapt to changes in the future.
So, Prof. Tan, what you shared has also interested the audience, and some people are asking, is SIT able to innovate and experiment because you are indeed the youngest university and you're not encumbered by legacy issues?
No, absolutely. I think one of the things for quite a number of years, I sat in the recruitment of every individual faculty, and actually I tell them, I would tell them that, look, if you're joining SIT, you have to do away with the traditional idea of what a university professor is all about. You really have to come in, embrace the fact that you're going to work in groups, you are not going to have your individual office, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And if you start from a traditional university, and where a lot of people have already very set idea, an idea that has sat there for 20, 30 years, I think it's going to be very difficult. So, yeah, I would say that it is because we are new. Right from the beginning, we set the tone. I personally lead off the orientation of new staff. I've been doing it for the last 8 years, and every single kickoff of new staff, both academic and non-academic, I personally will lead it.
So it starts with the recruitment. Huh? So that's a good time to bring up the poll results and see with COVID, are firms still prepared to offer internship and work study opportunities? Maybe we have a quick peek at the poll results and see what that looks like. Are people still offering those opportunities? Wow, that's a very positive signal from the community here. Yeah. So, Prof. Tan, we should stand out in the
contact us. We'll be very happy to work with anybody. We have degree in building services. We have degree in civil. We have degree in all kind of areas that I think will benefit from all of this internship.
That's right. That's very encouraging, huh?
Yeah, indeed.
Prof. Tan, with a disruptive university, and you've also talked about recruitment, but being a leader, how do you actually rally the troops other than recruiting them? How do you encourage them to be adaptable and nimble, as a team? How do you do that?
I think the key is that a lot of things we do, we didn't do it out just to be different. We didn't do it just to be innovative. We really sit down and explain to them what is the scenario out there, what kind of university, the mission we have. And in order to realize that mission, you cannot be a university of applied learning working with industry, and industry is changing at a rate and also into areas that you simply don't know, and you want to do the same whole thing again. So how do we start a program within 1 year? How do we retire a program that become obsolete and bring in a new program without the need to fire all the staff that are related to the old program? And once you sit down and start talking to them, and that's why I spend a lot of time, even from orientation, just to spend time with them to understand why are we doing this, why it makes sense that we do it this way. Just one last point is we are really very much a work in progress still. I think there's still enormous opportunity for us to innovate. So one of the ideas that we have been pursuing a lot in the last few years is this whole idea that once you enter university at SIT, you have entered a work-learn continuum. Your whole life is going to be a work-learn continuum. You're never going to graduate. So in SIT, we have a motto that says, once a citizen, always a citizen. You never graduate. It's only how much of the time you spend at SIT, how much time you spend at work, and at that time, how much of it you are learning, and when are you coming back to SIT to top up that learning. So you are going to enter what we call a work-learn continuum, and that will be the rest of your life. And we try to bring that message very strongly to the students.
Yeah, so that is a very encouraging note. And I think on that note, we will end our session because we're all out of time. But do reach out to Prof. Tan. If not, if you don't have Prof. Tan's contact Pauline or contact me if you'd like to explore providing internships or other work study programming opportunities with SIT. Thank you so much, Prof. Tan. Thank you.
Thank you.
And bye, everyone.